Test Drive with Graeme Fletcher.
This week on Test Drive, we look at one of the much ballyhooed LH bodies. This is the 1993 Chrysler Intrepid. Now it, along with the Vision and Concorde, are the three cars that Chrysler have quite literally bet the farm on. The question is, will they ever get the farm back? As you probably know, the Intrepid is a totally new automobile. Indeed, about the only recognisable component is the 3.3-litre V6 found under the hood. Power is rated at 153 horses and 177 pounds-feet of torque. During the usual skid pad test, the car required just over 9 seconds to reach 100 kilometers an hour. Out on the open road, this nice torquey engine ensures more than adequate performance. For those who want a little more oomph, you can opt for the larger 3.5-litre V6 that delivers 214 stampeding horsepower. Matched with either engine is a totally new 4-speed automatic transmission complete with overdrive. The shifts are smooth and the gear ratio is such you can derive the very best from either engine. Now, many of you may have noticed that the powertrain has been mounted longitudinally rather than the more conventional transversely mounted method. Chrysler suggests putting the engine in long ways helps reduce the amount of noise, vibration and harshness passed on to the passengers, as well as improving weight distribution. During the pylon test, the car tracked a surprisingly good line for a large family-oriented car. I detected only mild understeer when nearing the limit, and there was virtually no body roll. Credit for this wonderful display goes to the aforementioned weight distribution and the touring-tuned suspension. Mind you, a very large set of Goodyear Eagle GAs certainly helped a lot. On the road, some may find the ride a tad on the firm side for a family car. For me, however, the balance between sportiness and comfort is just about perfect. For a car that's been very well thought out and extremely well engineered, Chrysler missed the boat on one important item. There's no shift lock on the automatic transmission. Now, the shift lock is put there to prevent you from pulling it into gear without first firmly planting your foot on the brake. As you can see, I don't have my foot on the brake and you can pull it into any gear. It's a situation that really needs to be addressed. The Intrepid offers a large trunk with a nice low lift over and very handy cargo net. The only thing that deserves comment here is that despite the size, there are some fairly large intrusions into the usable space, and that there is no pass-through of any description. Now, as well as adopting the cab forward design up front, they've also moved the rear wheels back. Now, in doing that, they've accomplished two things. First of all, you get a longer door, which makes it much easier to get in and out of the back area. The other thing, it gives you enormous amounts of legroom. As you can see, there's almost enough room back here to have a game of touch football. Up front, both passengers are treated to 8-way power seats, with the driver getting an extra adjustment for lumbar support. In terms of comfort, there's little to complain about because of the amount of support they offer. The dash on the Intrepid is black on white by day, reversing to a bluey green on black at night. Now, either format is legible and all information can be picked up at a glance. All other driving controls and the switches for the numerous power options fall readily to hand. Other interior amenities worthy of mention include cup holders, a set of dual sun visors a la Taurus, and a separate set of heater vents for the rear passenger. On the safety front, the Intrepid scores very well indeed. There are airbags for both driver and passenger, 3-point seat belts for all outboard passengers, child-proof rear door locks, and optional anti-lock brakes as well as traction control. One of the problems that has plagued a lot of Chrysler products in the past is that the quality of the fit and finish has been a very hit-and-miss affair. On this Intrepid, things have been improved immensely. The door seams are even, the hood spacings on either side are very nice and even. Inside, the door panels have been attached and secured and they have a nice substantial feel. Now, all of this bodes very well for Chrysler because it'll eliminate a lot of those annoying rattles and squeaks. The other bright point about this car is exclusively built in Bramalea, Ontario. During the brake test, the front disc rear drum setup hauled the Intrepid to a halt in 120 feet from 80k. Now, I suggest you go with the optional anti-lock brakes. Then you get discs at all four corners. This setup shortens the stopping distances quite a lot, as well as providing great directional stability. Style is a very subjective subject, and as such I rarely comment upon a vehicle's appearance, but the new Intrepid is such a looker I have to comment. From any angle the appearance is super by any standards, and not at all like the cookie cutter shapes produced by many other manufacturers. Combine that with roominess, comfort and performance, and you begin to understand why Lee Iacocca babbles on about his home run. Earlier I alluded to the amount of money that Chrysler have invested in bringing the LH models to market. In my view, having road tested this vehicle, it's money well spent, because despite going into the toughest market segment, this car has the wherewithal to succeed. And by the way, Chrysler will not lose the farm. Now let's update our long-term testers. The G20 is performing beyond expectation thus far. The costs incurred have been limited to the first oil change, which cost us the princely sum of $28. As with the Maxima, the dealership experience was painless. To date, we're averaging around 30 miles per gallon, which is substantially better than expected, and the limited slip diff is making the going a lot smoother in the early winter conditions. The Subaru Legacy Wagon is beginning to come into its own. As the weather deteriorates, the full-time four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes are earning their keep. The only negative comment is that the overall fuel economy has dropped from 27 miles per gallon to 22 miles per gallon, and this new figure is much thirstier than it should be, and so the next oil change will get the dealer to check things out. The MX-6 is gaining respect from all drivers. The longer you live with the car, the more you like it. To date, the overall fuel mileage is running up around 27 miles per gallon. Now, given the enthusiasm that everybody drives the car with, this figure is much better than anticipated. As with the other two vehicles, we've had the oil and filter changed at a cost of $50.